Hello, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be with you today at the AAEEBL Symposium 2026. I'm Debbie Oesch-Minor. I'm serving as the president of AAEEBL and working with the board, and I'm very excited that we're here today. The symposium and the annual meeting this year are focusing on e-portfolios in the evolving state of higher education as we look at what works and how does it work. We wanted this to be a very open and welcoming invite so that no matter where you were in your ePortfolio journey, you weren't trying to pitch ideas for the conference that were fitting a square peg into a round hole. So we left it very much open, and it has been beautiful hearing from people last week at the annual meeting. I'm very excited to see what kinds of things we have to share then with the symposium. So just so we can kind of get to know one another, some of you are new to AAEEBL, some of you are AAEEBL aficionados. If you can jump into the chat and either let us know how you learned about AAEEBL if you're new, or one of your previous favorite AAEEBL experiences. Oh, very nice, Salsaville. Salsaville was on a podcast. Christina since 2012. That's amazing. Cannolis in Boston. I'm jealous. Would have loved that. I should edit mine to say paddleboarding uh, in Vancouver. Diego, it was wonderful to have you with us last week and to have you in the ePortfolio Institute. Wow, Candace, you're getting a shout out from Sonia. Portland with Patsy Polly. Susan, so wonderful to have had you with us, what, 5 years now? Andrew, I don't think you had to be dragged, but uh, I wish I had, I think I was there. I think that was a great time. And yes, it's always wonderful to meet through podcasts and connections. And Christina has a real art for bringing people together. Oh, and LinkedIn. Yes. Uh, you all have kept up with that really well. And shout out to Salsaville, who managed some of our LinkedIn over the last week. So it's wonderful to learn a little bit about all of us and how we got here. And I wanted then to shift just a little bit to program highlights. So if you scan the QR with your cell, it'll take you to the program page and you can scroll through. Today, the programming goes from 3:30 to 10 in the Eastern Standard Zone. And tomorrow we'll begin at 9 a.m. EST and close around 6. And I've been scrolling through and clicking through, and there's so much fabulous reading. And thank you to the people who've done so much to build out the support tools from Humanitics to the framework for the slide deck you're looking at now. If you're not familiar with the Association for Authentic Experiential and Evidence-Based Learning, we just say AAEEBL, and I think we are higher ed. From career services to faculty to internship management to people doing administrative work to people in assessment to administrators to people who coordinate co-curricular activities and housing to undergraduate research. Anything that's experiential and authentic, we find that it can live here and it can live in ePortfolios. So typically, I think we think of ourselves as the ePortfolio people, but as I see people present over and over again, there's these themes about experiential learning, about engagement, and about the value of metacognition and reflection. And so that's who we are, and I'd like to welcome everyone here today. Acknowledgements go out to the Planning Committee, Christina, Catalyst IT, the Digital Ethics Task Force, who's very active, our AEPR, ABLE ePortfolio Review Group, as well as the ABLE board members. The Planning Committee has done so much work, from the call for proposals to spreadsheets to sending out emails to setting everything up on websites, then to making sure we've got functional spaces on Zoom. So Helen, Christina, Kevin Kelly, Christina Mays, and Candace, thank you so much for the time that you've invested in this to make everything come together. And I was asked to speak a little bit about why now? Why have in person and a meeting that we're sharing in a virtual space? And I'll stop sharing momentarily because I want to look at you for this one. People, we are holding ground. And I am not being in any way hyperbolic when I say there are wars and there are rumors of wars. There are countries that are crumbling, there are governments that are transitioning. And the one thing that we can do as educators, as people who are invested in higher ed, as people that are passionate about our students and about humanity, is hold our ground. We know that the human experience hedges on being critical thinkers, not just knowledge, not just being able to regurgitate it, but lived experience and our ability to apply that. And so at such a time as this, we come together and we hold our ground. Like in this moment, it is critical that we hold space for people like us to have these conversations because we change student experiences through connections. E-portfolios are all about connections. E-portfolios are about us helping students recognize learning, reflect on, and then identify skills. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say e-portfolios are about us connecting with students. When I see a student's work in a portfolio, I get to know them very differently than if I see it on double-spaced white paper. When I talk to students about the kind of skills and strategies and learning they take away from creating e-portfolios, it is a different experience than if they're just putting together a PowerPoint. Um, this kind of connection to reflection, enhancing metacognition, and recognizing they are unique individuals. They have a right to take ownership of their education, and they have a right to then be part of body politics where they have voice. So I really think at the heart of all of this, um, and again, not to maximize the mission, but this is really about people having freedom and voice and teaching them how to take that and capture it in meaningful ways to make a positive difference. First, in their education, in their professions, in their careers, in their college relationships, in the opportunities that just open on campus. But then after that, as they go on to be lifelong learners who are in their communities, in our politics, in business, um, in even our military, like across the world, people who care deeply about connections to people and want to help one another thrive. And I really believe that's at the heart of ePortfolios. And that's why I've just kind of been over the moon with them since I started integrating them into classes, and why I believe so many students that I get to work with really find new voice and new kind of resonance in the way they think and process through ePortfolios. And so in these moments, we are here together to hold our ground and to build and to invite everybody to come and join us, from people who've been with us before to people who are going to be new to our community, because this is just one of the best places I've been to connect and work with people and to find rich relationships and affirmation and support on these crazy journeys for our professional lives that are both curricular, but where we're consistently supporting students. Um, there is something new on the horizon. Um,
Did Debbie just freeze for everybody? Okay, let's give her a second until she hopefully comes back.
not that
Maybe
new, you might have
there's,
heard of, called AI,
here we go.
but we recognize the value of the human. Am I back on? Can you hear
Yes,
me
you're
now?
back. Yep, we can hear you again.
It says now that my internet is unstable, and it has not said that all week. So I I was going to segue to say the thing that's really shifted in the world recently is AI. And I think one of the things that people have assumed is you're either against AI or you're for AI. And in reality, AI is an essential, and we must figure out how it works within higher ed. The one unique thing about ePortfolios, among the many, is it gives us a chance to see students' authentic work building over time. With that in mind, we are still helping students build connections and how to ethically use AI, when to use AI, the value of AI, and then the value of moments of being supremely human. That it's okay to be messy on a page, that it's okay to hide that page, that it's okay to keep going. It's okay to recognize who you've been and who you are as you look towards and begin aiming to who you're becoming. And in these ways, e-portfolios are very vital tools. So, what I'd like to do in the chat for just a minute is for everybody to type in one moment with you or a peer or a student or learning on your own where e-portfolio building really made a difference for you. So for me, I'll say when I learned to use e-portfolios to teach e-portfolios, that was a big moment for me. Oh, and we do have sessions on AI tomorrow. That's great. Salsa Bill, yes, I am so grateful that you made it through a whole semester with me. Professional development, yes. The light bulb, Candace, I might want you to talk more about that. It's hard to document that and to draw a chart, but you see it and it really makes a difference. Gail, fabulous to see you on here. Yes, when students begin to see their value. Corey, index cards are not quite as engaging. Absolutely. Professional development becomes very real. E-portfolios as part of career development is critical. Yes. Oh man, you guys are going too fast. This is amazing. Identifying skills and building employability. Yes, they see things that are immediately useful when they're building these portfolios, from technical skills to making connections across prior experiences to seeing just how they connect with people. And this is a lot of the power of ePortfolio and the strength of ePortfolio as we work. So I'm preaching to the choir. You guys know these are valuable. And you've seen that spark, that light bulb. And Candace, it's amazing when it happens, but that is one of the challenges that we face is measuring it. So I'm very grateful for people like you who have books with in-depth information on assessment, right? I'm grateful for the people who've gone before us and created like huge data sets so that we could prove that retention rates are better. We can prove that first year experiences that integrate these typically end up with higher GPAs for those students. For even the work that builds on George Koo and high impact practices to show that ePortfolios are the meta high impact practice, the thing that kind of can glue all of these other experiences together and make them meaningful and strategic long term for students. Diego, you wrote too many words. Okay. I love that idea of being intensely collaborative. Yes.